What's up, guys? It's your boy Cotton here at ReptileBros. Today I'm going to go over what it costs to run this facility of rodents and what I'm feeding and how much it's costing me weekly to produce all these. And I'm going to go over my costs and breakdowns and why I think a lot of people on a small scale like me kind of overcharge, in my opinion, when it comes to rodents. I think a lot of people like to tax. I know it's a lot of work, but I know a lot of people can do it for a lot cheaper, and that's why I sell everything I have for $2 a piece. Stay tuned. Alrighty, guys, let's go over the breakdown of what I have here. This is my Norwegian rat rack that I use for my Norwegians. I run a 1.4 and everything. Some give or take, depending on if I have pregnant moms elsewhere that are in the grow out bin, I might throw them in there with some more females. But I'm running a 1.4 and everything. I have everything filled up besides three bins, 3 tubs. The reason I do that is I don't ever want them all filled due to the fact that when I do go to clean, I can have some bins ready, and I can just start swapping over to the next clean bin, vice versa. It's nice to have them all filled, but sometimes when you need extra bins for extra ASFs, grow outs, you can just throw them in a big bin, leave them there, feed them, let them grow out. It's just nice for the setup that I have. As you see, I am running dog food. I have ran Missouri, I have ran all sorts of food on these big rodents, on the big rats. Some say it's bad for your snakes, it's bad for your reptiles. Some say it helps them grow cancer, which is true. I've seen that, but I've also seen that with them strictly on Missouri. If you look at my ASF rack here, all on Missouri. They also get cancerous tumors as well. So, you know, I don't really know how that works. I don't know the science behind it, but it is, these rodents are prone to getting cancerous tumors. I think regardless of what you're feeding them, also fats, you know, the intake of what they're getting, I think it all combines to that. Over here I have ASFs as well. I have a bigger ratio, usually 1.6 to 1.8 on these at any given time, and they do well. So here, one thing I've ran into is some of them have chewed through here, so I am no longer using these. I'm just too lazy to fix them. I just haven't gotten to it. Life is hectic, and I'm already producing enough ASFs, so I don't really need to have them all filled. I do supplement sometimes with some cat food. It's the multi-cat for them, along with seed. I feed a mixture of black sunflower seeds and a wild bird feed. And I'm going to break down the cost on everything here in a little bit. And I feed this every day. Every single day I give the ASF seed. What I wanted to break down today is the cost of what it costs me personally out of my pocket every single week to run this operation. From buying the food, from buying different types of food, the bedding that I'm using, and the, I guess it's just the bedding and the food and the seed. So 3 primary things that I'm going to go over today. I've got some receipts here from Tractor Supply, but I wrote it down half-ass on this. So for starters, for 1 week, it cost me $160 to run this operation. That's not the electricity, that's not the water, that's just food only, seed, and just your regular food. So for 2 bags of Missouri, it cost me a total of $53. I think they're 40-pound bags and they're $26.50 a piece. And then 1 pound of 50-pound dog food it costs me 25 bucks. And it feeds that once a week. The Missouri feeds these over here. It feeds the hoppers that are inside here. Make sure none of these are on top. Feeds the hoppers, fills the hoppers over here. Got my kid outside. He's like, let me come in. Want to come in, Papa? Okay, come in and help me. It helps me feed, you know, fill up the hoppers in here. Don't touch, okay, bub? Thank you. Okay. So, and let's get to the shavings. So it takes 5 bags of actual shavings here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Bubba?
Yeah.
This is what I'm using. I get this stuff at my local feed store. Sometimes I get it at Tractor Supply. This is a little bit different, but it works. Does the same. Say hi, Bubba.
Hi.
Say peace.
Peace.
And I use 5 of these weekly. And then I have the 4 of the pelletized bedding, which actually I'm out of. Actually might actually be out here. Hi, Lolo. Here it is here. This is what goes on the bottom of every tub, even the grow outs, just to absorb the urine and the pee. And honestly, it absorbs a lot of stuff. So I use 4 bags of those, and they're $6.50 a piece. It costs me a total of $26 per week for that. And for the 5 bags of shavings, they're $7 a piece. I'm rounding up. Cost me $35 there. So a total of all that is 140 bucks. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but I just went off of some of my receipts that I have. Are the babies in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, they sleeping? I see them, Baba. So, and then when it cost me to get some of the seed, a 40-pound bag or a 50-pound bag of black oil sunflower seeds cost me $26. And I just divided that in half because that lasts me 2 weeks. And then the mixed bird seed cost me $17 every 2 weeks. I divided that in half because it takes me 2 weeks to go through that. So roughly, I'm right at $160 per week to run this operation. And I think with what I have, all of these are 1.3. There's 45 tubs. And I'm producing, every week I'm pulling at least anywhere between 100 to at least 100, maybe 100 to 150 a week. And they all grow into the big grow outs down here. That's what you see here. And then once they get big enough, then I'll sex them and I'll move like the males into one tub and the females will stay in one tub so they don't get pregnant. Or sometimes I'll leave them there. If they do get pregnant, then I can swap them out and replace the old colonies. So that is a good and bad thing when it comes to that. Is sometimes you get babies in there and they all just get crushed and they will die. And those are good babies that you could use. But that's just the circle of life, especially when you're breeding. So that brings to the factor of 160 bucks a week to produce everything that I have. And that's for my collection as well. I'm sitting around at roughly 100 snakes. Everything eats once, maybe twice, depending on which my hatchlings are eating. They all get fed every single week. Gives me the benefit to feed animals. For people, when they buy snakes, they can sit here for as many months as they want. I don't charge them. They eat every single week. I always give updates. Sometimes some of these animals grow 50, 60, 120 grams before they get shipped out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So what it costs me is 160 bucks a week. I charge $2 a rodent. Some people say that's cheap. I say as long as my snakes are getting fed every single week, I think I can give back to some of the community and just charge $2. If I sell at least 80 rodents a week, which I am, I break even. My customers can help me feed my animals, and I can get a little bit of kickback to help take care of this. It is a lot of work, but if you are passionate about something, It's not really work. You have a good time. You can have the kids around. You can get yelled at by the wife all you want, but it doesn't really matter what they say. But it's something I enjoy. It's something that's good for the kids. It's one of those things. The hobby, the industry, whatever you want to call it, is growing. And I think if we can wind down on some of these people's cost of what they're charging people to produce these rodents, I think a lot of people would stick around in the hobby. I think us keepers and breeders, we push the new hobbyists out because we're so stingy on money. And we just rape them over the coals, and they go, yeah, I can't feed 12, 15 snakes at $7, $8 a piece, when we know for sure it doesn't cost that to produce this. That's just my opinion on it. I could be wrong. I'm sure I'm going to get people saying that I am, and that's okay. What I'm doing is to help the people around me and hopefully the future Canovas of the world that might be up and coming and they can't afford to feed their rodents, or to feed their snakes like some of these people are charging. So for now, I stick to $2 a piece. I'm located in Houston, Texas. I'm looking to do some frozen thawed shipping. Please reach out to me on Instagram or on Facebook. It's Rodentbros. And if you ever have any questions, just reach out, ask me. Even if I don't know the answer, we'll figure it out together. And everything, like I said, gets cleaned once a week. We don't ever go over 5 or 6 days, ever. Because these animals are going into animals that I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on. And the last thing I want to do is feed a dirty-ass rodent to one of my snakes. Or to anyone else's snakes, for that matter. Ain't that right, buddy?
Huh?
Ain't that right? Say peace.
Peace.